You know what we need to talk about more? PMDD. Most of you watching this probably don't even know what that is. But don't worry. I got you. So PMDD stands for premenstrual dysphoric disorder. And what it is a severe reaction to the changes in your hormones during your menstrual cycle. Symptoms include things like depression, panic attacks, rage, and thoughts of ending your life. And symptoms mostly occur in the time frame between ovulation and when your period starts, although it varies per person. Now, most people tend to assume that it's like PMS and that you just get a little cranky before your period starts, but it is much, much worse than that. It's more like PMS on steroids. You get angry for no reason, you cry for no reason, you worry for no reason, and in severe cases, you constantly think about ending your life. PMS is more like a mild annoyance, but PMDD tries to ruin your life. What's even worse is that a lot of people have never heard of it, or they just don't believe it exists. It is often misdiagnosed as bipolar disorder, or it just gets swept under the rug because it's just a part of being a woman. It is also very hard to find doctors who are educated on it, and there's no cure. There are treatment options though. Those include antidepressants, therapy, birth control, chemical menopause, and a hysterectomy. But it is a very complicated disorder, and while one treatment might work for somebody else, it's not going to work for everyone. Like me, for instance, I tried every single treatment option you can think of except chemical menopause, and that's only because my insurance wouldn't cover it. If it did, I definitely would have tried it. But I finally had to end up getting a hysterectomy, and that was the only thing that ever brought me any relief. I had a very severe case. Like, I honestly didn't think I was gonna make it past age 28 because I was in so much pain every month. I just wanted to end it all. I had no will to live. I was just struggling all the time, and I wasn't afraid of death. I did not care about my future, and I did not want a future if it just meant that I was going to suffer for decades until my body finally went into menopause. But I somehow found the strength to fight. I would literally be screaming at doctors. Like, if you guys have seen my Francine videos, Francine is literally my PMDD manifested into a character. Like, that was literally me during a PMDD episode. I would scream at the top of my lungs, and I would tell doctors that they were worthless and I was gonna die if they didn't help me. And finally, just a few months before I turned 29, I got a hysterectomy. I made it past 28, and my life has been so much better ever since. Like, it's truly been like night and day. And honestly, I don't really like to talk about PMDD anymore, because when I think back to those days, all I remember is darkness and misery and suffering. It was just a terrible, terrible dark time in my life. And honestly, I don't even remember a lot of it because I've blocked a lot of it out. Like, I just don't like revisiting that part of my life, and I don't like going back to that headspace and remembering all the things I felt and all the things I did. But despite it being uncomfortable, despite me not liking to revisit that part of my life, I still talk about it because it needs to be talked about. Like, one of the things I'm most proud about with my platform, and I'm gonna get emotional talking about this, is how many women have messaged me because they've seen my videos and they've been like, oh my god, I didn't even know PMDD existed until your video, and now everything makes sense, and now I don't feel as alone. When I was starting out with my journey, there was no one. Nobody talked about PMDD. Nobody knew what PMDD was. I had to suffer in silence. I always felt so alone and like I was going insane because when you tell people, you know, my period makes me wanna, you know, I just wanna end it all because of my period. They're just like, you're being so overdramatic. Periods are not that bad. And you just feel so alone. Like, I had to figure everything out on my own. I had to diagnose myself with PMDD and then go to a doctor and be like, I think I have this. And they're like, what is that again? And it was just a very lonely and isolating journey because I couldn't find anybody that related to me at all in terms of how my periods made me feel. So that is why every April, because April is PMDD Awareness Month, I hop in front of my camera and I make some videos about it because I don't want anybody else to have to suffer in silence for over a decade like I did. So if you ever feel like your period is making you go crazy and you just cannot control your emotions, start tracking your symptoms for at least 3 months and see if there's a pattern. And if there is a pattern, look into PMDD. So yeah, and if you guys have any questions about PMDD, go ahead and put them below and I will try to answer whatever questions I can. But for now, here is my makeup. I usually don't use blue a whole lot because I have a really hard time blending blue for some reason, but teal is the color for PMDD, so we did like a teal blue with a pop of silver. So yeah, let me know if you got any questions about PMDD.
Have you ever wondered what spending St. Patrick's Day weekend in Chicago is like? Well, I'm here to show you. So first up on the agenda was to wake up at the ass crack of dawn to go see the river get dyed green. Now, the actual river dye doesn't start until 10 a.m., but we were going to a ticketed event that started at 8 a.m., plus we had to get ready, so yeah, we were up bright and early. And here's my outfit reveal in 3, 2, 1. Boom! There she is. I tend to go the more obnoxious and overly accessorized route instead of the cute route when it comes to St. Patrick's Day, so here we are. Anywho, we hopped in an Uber and went over to London House. This is where we're going to be watching the river dye from up above, and it was going to include drinks, food, photo ops, a DJ, and all that. And let me say, this is one of my favorite parts of the trip. Like, this was so fun. They had so many themed drinks, like this green mimosa, plus these Jello shots, which I am a whore for Jello shots in general, but these were so damn good. Oh my god. Anyways, we spent most of our time on this upper balcony, and it was just so fun. The music was good, all the people were really fun, and someone even handed me this little ducky because I was wearing green lipstick. Now, the one downfall of this event is that we expected way more food. Don't get me wrong, they did walk around with trays of food, but we thought it was going to be more like a buffet style. But no, they just kind of walked around with these trays and you grabbed something if you wanted it. And also, I'm a little offended because everybody had these bags of tater tots and we kept asking them, where are the tater tots? When are you going to bring the tater tots? And they're like, oh, they're coming around. Bitch, I never got any tater tots. So I just filled up on Jello shots instead. Which might be the reason I ended up puking in the bathroom. But hey, at least it wasn't as bad as Miami.
Sarah, how are we doing? Oh no! Not good!
So after watching the river dye, we went downstairs to the club area and the DJ was playing all the hits. I mean, just look at my dance moves. I know you're jealous. It's okay to admit. Anyways, we stayed here for kind of a while. I don't even know when we left. But when we finally did, we got some food real quick before heading over to a bar crawl. Now, let me just say, when I go to bar crawls here in Orlando, they always go smoothly. But for some reason, we keep having horrible luck trying to go to bar crawls in other cities. They just always end up being a waste of money. So like with this bar crawl, the lines for every single bar was so insanely long. Like we waited in this line for, I don't know, like an hour, which I get, it's a holiday weekend. But when you pay for bar crawl tickets, you kind of expect to get some perks, but there really were none. We still had to wait in line. We didn't get any free drinks with our ticket. And when we finally did get inside, it was so crowded. Like I could barely move while I was in here. But we did end up staying here for a while because we were like, we don't want to wait in a giant line again. But I did not enjoy my time in this bar. It was so crowded. The floor was so damn sticky and I accidentally stepped on this like tissue paper or something and it stuck to the bottom of my damn shoe. So yeah, not my favorite place we went to in Chicago, but after this we went and got deep dish pizza and called it a night. Now the next morning was the coldest day of our entire trip. When we woke up it was snowing outside, which my friend Caitlin was really excited about because she's never seen snow fall in person before.
Oh, it's snowing. Look at the snowflakes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look.
But I, on the other hand, have lived where it snows before, and this is how I feel about snow.
Fuck this cold ass weather. Hello, I'm fine. I've seen snow. I've officially seen it fall from the sky, and it's time to go.
Thank you very much.
But we were gonna go see Southside Chicago Parade. My friend Caitlin was like, we have to go see it. Everybody tells us to go see it. Let's go see it. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, that parade was not worth standing out in that cold ass weather for. I'm so sorry to all the Chicago natives. But all of us live in really hot climates, so this was just freaking miserable. I would have skipped this 100%, but Caitlin had it set in her heart and soul that she wanted to see this parade. So we powered through for a good, I don't know, 40 minutes and then headed back inside because we were like, nope. nope, we can't do it. And once again, I was reunited with my precious Jello shots. It was a reward for myself for standing out there, okay? Anyways, not too much happened the rest of this day. We left this bar because it got really crowded really quickly and hung out at the Airbnb before we went to dinner. Now, the next day was actual St. Patrick's Day, and it was also the day we were going to be doing all the touristy things. Our friend Priscilla had also flown into town, so we met up with her for breakfast before we headed out to explore the city. And first up was the Bean. This is one of the things I've always wanted to see in Chicago. I think it's such a cool art piece. And I've seen pictures of it a million times, but I had never seen anybody show what it looks like underneath. Like, I didn't even know you could walk underneath it, so I thought that was pretty cool. So once we finished taking all 8 billion pictures of ourselves, we walked across the way over to the Art Institute of Chicago. Now, I am not always a museum girly, but there were a lot of paintings in here that I did not expect to see. Like this one, which is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. Or this Van Gogh self-portrait, which is smaller than I thought it would be. So yeah, it was kind of an unexpected surprise to see some of these paintings here. And this one right here, I don't know who the artist is. I don't know anything. I just walked by it, but I really liked this one. I thought it was really pretty. Like I said, I'm not always a museum person. I have a really hard time interpreting art and all of that, but it was pretty cool. We had a good time. So after the museum, we went over to the Starbucks Reserve, and I gotta say, this was chaotic as hell. I went to the one in Milan when we were in Italy, and that one was only one story, and it was pretty easy to navigate. But this one, my god. It was what, like 4 stories? And we ended up spending way more time here than we anticipated because it just took so long for us to get all of our food and our drinks and everything. It was a bit chaotic. But after this, we were going to go do one of the things I was most excited to do on this trip, and that is the 360 Chicago Tilt, which for those of you that don't know what it is, it's where you go to the top of this very tall building and lean against a glass that tilts over the city. Basically the worst nightmare for anybody that's afraid of heights. Caitlin, how you feeling about this?
Don't even. I'm enjoying the pretty views. Okay?
Are you excited?
I am excited when I see the beautiful views. I live to tell about it, and I have a nice big drink.
You should Caitlin's not prepared for this.
But I am.
Now, one really cool thing that happened while we were here is we had befriended this Scottish couple the day that we went to the river dive. And right before we went to do the tilt, we ran into them again. So all 5 of us got in line and went to do the tilt, which is not nearly as dramatic as you might think. It kind of leans you forward a little bit, but I didn't think it was scary at all. So, Caitlin, did you survive?
Yes.
What did
My heart still fluttering. I'm about to have a drink. But we got some gorgeous views right here. It wasn't that bad. It was all in my head.
See?
It was beautiful. Highly recommend.
Told ya. So we stayed here as the sun set and had some drinks before walking over to this bar. And I gotta say, out of all the bars we went to, I had the best time at this one. We also met up with another one of our friends, Angie, here. And we just had a fun night, guys. We were there until like, I don't know, 1, 2 a.m. It was so fun. Maybe a little too fun because we didn't get back to our Airbnb until like, I don't know, 2, 3 a.m. And poor Caitlin had like a 9 a.m. flight the next day. We had to drag her out of the bar and be like, girl, you gotta wake up so early tomorrow. So she was struggling real bad. Michelle and I at least had an afternoon flight, so we were okay. But that was our girls' trip to Chicago. Now, if any of you have seen my travel videos, you know I always get a magnet, so before I go, let me give you a magnet reveal in 3, 2, 1. Here she is. Honestly, the selections weren't that great, but I wanted something that had the bean, so here we are. And that was St. Patty's weekend in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen.
You bring honor to us all. There, you're ready.
Not yet. An apple for serenity, a pendant for balance.
Beads of jade for beauty. You must proudly show it. Now add a cricket just for luck. And even you can't blow it.